Hello, this is Grant, and welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 2 Master Run. This episode, we have to take these guys back, Europa and Ray, from the... What would John Wayne do scoop? And the Slave to Fashion. These are pretty easy. Carrying Europa makes dealing with her really simple. Anyone you can carry is so much better than having to walk. So, it's not going too bad. We're also going to stop at the Yucatan Casino. I keep wanting to say Peninsula, even though that never comes up in my life. Why would I ever have to say Yucatan Peninsula? For some reason, that's always my go-to whenever I mention that casino. Also, we're going to have to do the bank run scoop towards the end of the episode, and that gets a little hectic, and I make a kind of a little screw-up, but it's nothing too major for the run, but don't judge me too hard on that one. So, really, I find that the game's so much easier at a high level just because of the mere movement speed. Like, I actually had, coming back to this game in the first game, when I was at level 1, the game's pretty tough just to get through some basic zombies. But here, even, like regardless of the fact that I have Europa, I'm walking past, like, I'll be completely past the zombie crowd before they really even notice me. When you're level 1, you just move so slow and you have to be so timid that it's just an entirely different game. And I think it's unfortunate. It'd be cool if they had a way to kind of turn up the difficulty in a good way. Like, I don't think you'd want to slow down the player, because that just gets tedious. But I want to be able to, like, scared of the zombies again. I actually found that very enjoyable. Like, playing around level 1, trying to actually, like, have to route my way through areas. Especially in 1, because I was really familiar with 1, so that was a really cool way to make it fresh again. And then you get a high level and you just walk through zombies ignoring them. They're a joke, really. And, I mean, you might get grabbed, but even then if you're getting grabbed, it's pretty much complete bullshit because it's an instant grab lock on. And anytime you get grabbed, it's pretty much, I believe it's guaranteed, at least in 1, to be a block of health off. I think you can maybe prevent it if you're, like, really on the ball and start mashing the sticks immediately it is possible, but even then I think you're guaranteed like 3/4 or something, I'm sure. The main reason I know that is before 7-Day Survivor, when you have to really manage your health, you notice stuff like that. So this is the vault in the Yucatan Peninsula. Remember we talked to Lenny, the guy we saved here originally, and he gives you a code for this safe. So I figured why not come in here. We're too late, but right here to the left and right is where the actual money would be. I didn't actually bother to do this in the run because it's always been glitchy for me, and I don't really need the cash. So, if you'd like to come here, it's good money, 125,000 I think, or it might be 2 sets of 125,000. I haven't actually done it. I've only ever looked it up because again, it's never worked for me. But it is there if you want to take the time to come here and get some cash. Generally, if you don't have any of the unlocks, it would be worth it, like any of the cars. But I don't know, it's just not worth it for me. There's also a light machine gun in the center of the casino here, plus the one back there once you unlock that in the TK scoop where they're robbing all the banks and the casinos. But you unlock a couple nice little things when you go do that scoop. So I end up getting lucky. I'm a huge fan of wheelchairs. Like, when I first played this game, I never used them. But they are so useful. Particularly later on, you'll see. Like, because every survivor can get in the wheelchair. Besides Snowflake, of course. Although I would love to see that, like, mod. Just like a tire chilling in the wheelchair. But almost always, it makes you and them faster. You have better control. And as long as you're only escorting one of them, it's just perfect. You do run into an issue where, like, if you have like a party of like 4, if you and the one you're wheeling around get away, it doesn't really help you then. But I'd say if you only have one guy, if you can get a wheelchair, it is always worth it. It's just such a huge boon, especially if you're a low level and you don't have max speed yet. Like, a level 1 with a wheelchair can do pretty damn good. So, heavily recommend. And usually, anytime you would like actually need a wheelchair, like, it would be really useful, they actually do give you one. Like, there's one scoop later on with a veteran who, he has an injured leg, but he's too proud to, like, let you carry him. Well, there's always a wheelchair that spawns. I think it actually is in this food, like, right here. Or it might be over in the food court. but there's always a wheelchair that spawns. And I don't actually need to use it this time because of the leadership book we still have. But basically anytime, there's always a wheelchair there. So if you can kind of keep an eye out for spawns and have one when you need one, it's great. I love this weapon. This is, like I said, this is my favorite weapon I found in this run. I'm sure I had tried this and I felt it was just like too clunky or something. But it's a pretty great weapon for speed. I was really looking for a replacement for the skateboard. So I guess I got a little bored waiting here. I don't think, you'll notice, I don't actually need to carry Europa. I think that's part of my leadership book, which makes the survivors you have in your party a little bit more eager to fight, less scared, and faster. And with certain, like, survivors that are supposed to have a requirement to be carried or they're slow, it, like, bumps that up one and removes that requirement. And I think it is possible where you have others where, like, say, they can only crawl, and they'll bump them up to, like, a slow walk. I'm not quite sure how it works with everything, but it's surprisingly effective with certain ones. Like I said, that old veteran, if you have that book with, like, that book with him, it turns him into just, like, actually a really good survivor with a gun. So, I definitely recommend it. I had never picked it up, and I thought, hey, you know what, I'm right here, let's pick it up for this run. Because for all I know, I was going to lose this footage too, so, like, let's try something new. Plus, I found that with it, I don't know how much it adds, like, the combat abilities to the survivors. But it does seem like I can usually just... God, getting this thing out is a pain. I'm pretty sure I just give up. But I figured I was waiting for them anyway, so. But I like it. But I don't know how good the combat abilities or, like, the buff is. But it does seem like I can usually just completely ignore my survivors and run to the end. It's too bad you can't put these on survivors and have them just, like, charge through with you. Completely, like, plowing down zombies.
Keep it moving.
It seems like he has such a wonky run. Like, he goes, like, these really wide strides. Like, it seems like, it's like he's, like, taking a left step then a right step, and somehow he ends up going forward. I think it sells the fact that he's doing, like, this crazy blind charge, but I felt the animation's a little off for that.
Anybody?
Considering, like, how many clothing stores we ran by, you think we could have stopped to get Europa something on the way. So you notice, like, Sullivan moved over here because this is the guy we saved in one of the first few episodes who needed Zombrex. It's the chemical dependency scoop. And so 24 hours later, he needs it again. And you see Sullivan moves over there because he's like, you have to go stay in the cafeteria, and if you don't get Zombrex, I'm going to shoot you. So, yeah. I definitely recommend if you're playing this game, always check the cafeteria if you're passing by. If there's any relevant scoops, they'll always put the survivors in there. You don't have to go find them in the back, because the safe house is really huge and really confusing. It, like, I assume it makes like a giant loop or something, because it seems like I can go all the way around. And I think the big thing that confuses me is they don't actually give you a map of it, so I've never been able to really get my head around it. Particularly because it goes like down, up, up again, into some other rooms. Like, is this a side room? Is it another hallway? Just, it's hard to follow. Maybe one day, if I ever come back to this game again after this run, I'll think about it. I would love to do a co-op run of this if I could find like a dedicated co-op partner and just do some fun stuff. I imagine with co-op, the whole game would be pretty easy, honestly. Just because, I think, one, you can't, like, die in co-op straight up. If I recall, you just, like, go, it's like any other, like, FPS co-op game, like, where you just get knocked down, the other person has to revive you, I think. So, there's that. And even then, you essentially have twice the damage and twice the health. I would not be surprised if there was some kind of buff to enemies, just to deal with the fact that, make sure you don't completely, like, just destroy them instantly. But even then, it's like being able to carry, like, twice the inventory. Like, you could have one person just carry, like, all the weapons, and the other person carry all the food. And no one's going down. Or just have one person manage all the survivors while someone else clears out everything. You definitely, like, breeze through the game with that. Gosh. I'm gonna ditch my skull here for this queen. It's too bad. I wish there was a nice way to like always get a queen. If I really wanted to, you could do nectar. But unlike in 1, there's no great way, I think, to deal with that. Like to realistically get that. There probably is. I just don't look. So we're gonna do this bank run scoop here, where Woodrow is a CEO of a company, and he will not go with you until he clears out all the ATM. So it's pretty easy actually. He's a pretty decent survivor, but like him and another survivor who have that briefcase, assumedly there's a bunch of money in it, and they will not give it up to you until they are in the safe house, which is fine. You don't really need it. If you kill them, I believe you can open the briefcase for money. But the issue is, since giving someone food causes them to drop their item, you can't give this guy food. And that's going to screw us over like a lot later, because he'll go out, get hurt, and then we really have to watch him because you can't heal. I hate how I have to talk him before he'll start that little second. I'm sure they do that just because otherwise it'd be pretty easy for him to just go off and actually finish it himself. Like, he doesn't really need an escort. He could easily probably do the entire thing and you just meet him at the end. To my knowledge, there's no way to heal besides giving food. I do wish there was like some way to do it. Like, I don't know, you splash up juice on him or something. Now, you will notice, for some reason, he loves to take these like moving sidewalks to go the wrong way. So he's going to take forever to get here. But I guess that's just his AI. He's probably taking the shortest path to make it simple to this next ATM, but yeah. What's nice about this one is if you want a lot of money, 1, he gives you money, I believe, when you get back to the safe house. And 2, since you're going to every ATM anyway, you should just bust the ATMs after he's done. I don't know what happens if you bust one of the ATMs before he goes there. I wonder if that changes it, or if you fail the scoop, or what happens. That'd be an interesting little test. Because it seems like if you're coming into the area from the other way, you wouldn't want to destroy it. Like, you don't want to fail a scoop you don't even know is like what's going to happen just because you destroyed one ATM for some cash. So maybe they either make them unbreakable until he goes through them, or maybe when you start the scoop, it will refresh them all. That's also, I think, a very likely thing. I completely misjudged which ATM he was going to here, though. This makes me wish I saved my queen. Like, you always... This is what you want a queen for, is like, this is just your perfect get-out-of-jail-free card to throw a queen in. It's like, boom, pop. Survivors are fine. Huh. So we got him, but we still have another scoop to do. We have the artist scoop, whatever it's called, where we have to go pay a dude for his painting. And that painting is actually the last toy, gift for Katie, I should say. So we do want that so we can get the PP like set bonus. Because generally, PP's not that good. Other than Survivors, PP's pretty terrible for most actions unless you complete like a set. So like in this game it would be like, oh, 10,000 PP for, or like 1,000 PP for every single gift you bring Katie, and then like, I don't know, 20,000 for the whole set. So it'd be pretty good if we get it, but not to spoil it, we end up not because we have a little bit of a panic here. As you can see, Widgow's already pretty low, and as I said before, you can't heal him because he doesn't want to give up his cash. Which I can't believe that's something that stayed in this game, was the fact that like giving them food makes them drop their weapon. It seems like they should have coded that out, unless that is intentional, that they don't want you to heal him. But that doesn't quite make sense to me. Because like even in like 1, it was just annoying. Like, here's your katana. Oh wait, you took damage. Okay, here's your orange juice. Now pick your katana back up. It's like, seriously, it's like a toddler. Like, no, don't take your weapon. You need this Uzi. It's like I guess like a toddler, but hopefully you're not giving them machine guns and such. I really miss the jump kick. I think I have a jump kick in this game, but it's not anywhere near as strong, I don't believe. Instead, they replace it with that drop kick, which It's nice because it does enough damage to kill zombies. I swore that glass was gone. It was clear compared to the one next to it. The dropkick just kills your momentum. And I've talked about it before, like really you just need to keep moving because the zombies have a really long aggro radius. So if you start like staying in one area for too long, they'll just keep coming. Not in like an actually hard way. It'll just there'll always be oh here's one more, which that mainly sucks with like survivors when you're trying to get them out. Like Woodrow here is just gonna get swarmed. Like I'd like to do more, but
Stay over there.
really I would like to just get him in that wheelchair. Luckily the elbow drop's a little bit better than the knee drop from the first game. Come on.
Keep close.
I find myself, like, without the small chainsaw that you can just have on your person the entire time, I do run out of weapons very fast in Dead Rising 2. And maybe just because they up the limit and there's more zombies and such. Awesome. I remember thinking at the time, like, thank God he got in here, and then, damn it, he just got out immediately. Because I have no weapons, and he's low on health. I have 5 books, but the books don't do you any good if you don't have any other items. But, once again, wheelchair comes to the rescue. So, we already have an issue here where we gotta go do this painting quest, and Woodrow's really low health, and I can't heal him. So that's fine, but things just kind of get gradually worse. So, that being said, I don't think I have the best strategy here either. I guess Woodrow can levitate there. That was weird.
Head that way.
I remember thinking just come on Woodrow, just like go. I think it's the wheelchair blocking him, or just like the fact that he lacks a weak point. But I do really wish that I had saved another queen. I guess he can only go up the wrong escalator, just like with the rest of his stuff. So we're slowly gonna work him over there, and there's not a lot of food. I think there's like a jelly bean in the store next to us and some dynamite. And actually a chainsaw, I could have gotten that. I might even end up over there. But without any weapons, I'm just like having to martial arts this the entire way. And it's, with me low on health as well, it's not the best option. Like I'm definitely very timid if you can't. I'd like to kill more, but it can be hard to get them all in. Like I'm just afraid like I'm going to get grabbed because I go in too long for like a drop kick or something. Generally speaking, though, you can elbow drop repeatedly. And here I'm actually looking like I had thought about buying something, but I wanted food, which surprises me that they don't sell food. Like that seems like a perfect case of like pay a lot to get it in this one exact instance that you really need it. And then Woodrow doesn't stay in the store. It's just for some reason managing him was just horrendous. It looks like we can already hear the artist. So I'm trying to break this cardboard box. It's not happening. And of course, all I end up getting is handbag. I think you can get a snack from, but I didn't want to bother with it because there is wine in here actually. So I figured I'd go over here. He's responding. There's also a wine store right next to here, but I don't want to get stuck throwing up because that would be kind of a death sentence when trying to save these guys. This guy. I get the idea. It's kind of funny that you have to buy his painting. But I think it's just like such a dumb arbitrary requirement that you have to pay. Like you pretty much always have the cash. I don't know. It seems like they could have made a more interesting scoop. So here, I'm going to try and protect the painting because to give it to Katie, it can't be ruined. And by default, it's like every other painting. It's like a mask object where you can slam it down on a zombie and it'll incapacitate them. But we don't want to do that because then we can't get the points. And this is the only place this spawns. Like, I'm really sure that after this scoop, you cannot come back here and get it again. Or if you lose it, you can't come get it. You only can get it during the scoop if you carry it. So my theory was they should be safe in that store. I'm going to take this over the painting over the brand new U, which is where the shortcut is located. Drop it there. And then come back and get them after I have some food and stuff. And maybe some good weapons or something. I didn't really know what I was going to get. I was really winging it. really winging it here. So a lot of these stores are callbacks to the first game. Particularly that Ned's Knickknackery, which is like antiques and stuff. I like how like the visual style is so exactly the same. So you see I put it right here next to the shortcut. And I am promptly going to completely forget about it. Which is really terrible because you see me like literally run over the painting to go enter that shortcut. Like as soon as I do that, I just think to myself like, oh my gosh, where's the painting? I never picked it up. God. I really hated myself for that one just because like as part of the run, I didn't require myself to do all the gifts for Katie. But I did want to get as high level as possible, and the higher I get, the better. And it's one of those things where it would have just been cool to have had it all done in one run. But oh well, next time. I'd also consider doing more collectibles on the run, like you have particularly the Zombrex posters. But ultimately, they give you like 1,000 PP each. They're a pain to go follow. I'd have to have like a whole guide to follow it. It would be a pain to kind of map out. I felt that if I was going to do something like that, I should just do like a achievement guide where the point is to get as many achievements possible in the run. Because in that case, you can also skimp on a bunch of other stuff. Like you don't need to worry about the unlock. So instead of grinding for money at some points in the game, I would just actually go do all the Zombrex posters or do like collectibles for the combo weapon. So I considered it, but I felt that if you're doing an achievement run, an issue is it probably means you're new to the game, in which case you're probably not going to be able to do all that from level 1. Like maybe if they really want to, but then I feel like it's pretty straightforward. The zombie gets a little slow motion there. I don't know what happened, but thankfully he did not grab onto me. One of the great changes that did happen in Dead Rising 2 is the ability to move while you shoot. It definitely made the guns like so much more viable and more fluid. Like in Dead Rising 1, every time you like had to aim it with the left trigger, it's like Frank had to like stop, plant. It would completely center the crosshair, which is a pain because like when you're fighting like the helicopter, it's like okay, stop center, you slowly drag it up. If I recall in the first game, you could only move the crosshair left or right or up or down. You couldn't go like diagonal, or at least not like realistic. I think you could do like this weird curve because the sensitivity was so different on each, but it was really horrendous. And that's what sucks. Like the elevator, not the elevator, the helicopter only gave you a few like specific opportunities where you could hit it. So you spent most of that opportunity slowly dragging your gun up, trying to shoot it. So that was something I was so glad to see change in this game. So here I'm just gonna like plant him in the store. Zombies never really go in stores, and that's kind of nice. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's so you can get kind of a reprieve. But yeah, unless you drag him in the store, it's usually pretty much safe to send them all in. In retrospect, I should have given Randolph a weapon. That seems like it would have been pretty useful. I mean, I say that, but if I did it, he would probably have killed the other survivor, Wilson. So, maybe that's a good thing that I didn't. Arming survivors in this game is something it's good, but really not necessary. Because like I said, like usually your best call is just to go, take them, just keep running. And stopping to find like, quote unquote, good weapons for every survivor is just almost not worth the time. Maybe if I knew the survivors better, like there are certain ones where they will just kick ass if you give them the right weapon. But I don't think, most survivors are like that. Or like you just don't really need it. Like sure, maybe like doing that, the mind over matter, is it? Or it might be a brains over brawn, that's it. This is the haymaker skill, by the way. I figured I'd try it out, since I'm doing so much. Surprisingly, it does not give you PP, I don't know why that is. It's a pretty decent psychopath killing weapon, if they can't heal. Knocks them down and stuff. But anyway, like during that scoop, it's convenient because there's a ton of like hardware, like tools and what stuff around. So it's like, yeah, I'll give them all of them. But a lot of these scoops, like, it's just not worth the time to go find weapons for them. Especially since they can't handle combo weapons, which are usually the ones I have on me.
Stay right there.
So here I remember I'm like trying to switch over to my food to heal up and stuff because now I'm low, Wilson's low, Randolph's fine. Not Wilson, Woodrow. Can't believe I'm mixing those up. But you see that penny on the ground. I'm probably gonna forget about this because I'm so worried about getting back up healthy again. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Till next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.